This is MEC 14, reading wiring diagrams, and I'm going to take you through the process of trying to read the wiring diagrams of the old school wiring diagrams. There's a few principles that we want to look at first, and to do that we'll just zoom into our figure 1, engine compartment and headlights. You'll see here that we have several symbols here, and this one I want you to take notice of. This is a ground symbol. I'll zoom in on that a little bit. So that's a symbol of a ground. You can see our battery here, positive and negative. If this is a truck, it'll either say gas or it'll say diesel. And if it was a diesel, it'll have two batteries. We usually want to trace the path of electricity through the wiring diagram so that we can diagnose a problem later. And it's hard to trace the wiring diagram from the battery to the specific circuit that we're looking for. So we need to start at the load. In this case, what we're going to do is we're going to start at the headlights. On these old school wiring diagrams, what you'll see is the headlights usually on in figure 1. And if you're looking at tail lights and everything like that, it'll be probably on figure 8 or 9 or whichever is the last figure. We'll just scoot over there. And you can see over here, right, marker light, tail light, all of that stuff. Okay. So let's go back to figure number 1. And let's just start and I'll talk about it. We're going to start at the headlight here. You can see that we have a ground. We also have a small filament and a big filament. One of those will be high beam, one of those will be low beam. Let's follow one of them. So I'm just going to start here and I'm going to go down this way and I'm going to trace it all the way down. And we know from drawing our headlight circuit already that the headlights are in parallel to one another. So that'll head off to that ground. And you can see that this one will go through the filament of the bulb and head off down to that ground too. So we've got that side, we've got the ground side of the bulbs taken care of. Then we're going to follow this wire here because this comes out of the, and it goes to the beam select switch. Comes out of the filament, goes to the beam select switch. So now we need to find out where the beam select switch is. Well, in order to do that, we go down here on this component locator, beam select switch, and it says DE16. Well, you can see that we're a 1, 2, 3 DE, so we need to go a long ways down all the way to, there's 15, and there's 16, and D is at the bottom. So DE16, that means it'll be in this area right here. And lo and behold, we can see it there. It's sitting right here. So what color was the light, was the wire that was coming in? Oh, we forgot to look, so let's look. It says the one we're tracing is a tan wire. DE16. So we look for the tan wire, and there it is. So this headlight, this wire comes in and heads off here. So this is the low beam light, and you can see that this beam select switch is set on low beam. If it was set on high beam, then the wire would be that way, but we're set on low beam. So we're going to trace this up and just see where it goes. According to your wire diagram that you've drawn, you should be able to see where it should go next, and lo and behold, it goes to the light switch. And so we head on here, and if the headlights are on, that means this is now sitting in that direction, and so current would flow down through this thing called a circuit breaker and head off this way. And it says it goes to the tail lamp's fuse. So now we need to find the fuses. Well, that's simple again. We just go back to our component locator and we look for fuse block. We'll go over here, BD1215. We're going to slide over to 15, B to D. Oh, right in the middle here. So all of this area right in the middle here is the fuse block. So we're looking for the, which one was it again? We're looking for a red wire going into the tail lamp's fuse. Tail lamp's fuse. So we need to find instrument cluster lamps, heater, choke, turn signal. And here we have the tail lamp fuse. You can see it says light switch. That's orange. That's not what we're looking for. Let's see. We're not looking for the orange one here. We're looking for this red one from the light switch. So let's follow it. It goes this way. It's over here. And then it goes through the tail lamp switch. So let's just follow some of these wires in here. We have a tendency to think that we will be going towards the fuses, but in this case, we've got a bit of a junction right here where it says number 2. And so we're not going to go this way at all. So I'm just going to erase that. We're not going to go that way at all. We're going to head back this way. And junction block. A junction block is where power comes from the battery and spreads out all over the place. So we're looking for a red wire going to the junction block. So let's find the junction block. Junction block, it says here E3. So that should be right here, E3. And we're looking for a red wire. Let's see, where are we coming from here? This is power set tail lamps fuse. So the red wire, and it goes to this red fusible link. A fusible link is a wire that melts. It's sort of like a fuse, except you have to solder a new one in. So this junction block, this will come across, and somehow we have to get back to the battery. So this is the blower relay. That's not the right one. We're not going to the trailer connector. Where do these other ones go? These top two. We have a black, red, and a red. Well, they head up. One goes to the alternator, and one goes up all the way to the positive battery post. So let's follow that. Then we draw this little one in, and we have our complete low beam headlight circuit.